All right. So back for a new stream. Keeping on with the water dragon. For those of you that are just checking this video out as the first video, I'm still getting established on Twitch, so I'm going to be giving a little bit of background all the time. If you like what you see on the stream, then definitely feel free to tell your friends. If you don't like, feel free to tell your enemies. And yeah, just come and just chill and hang out for a little while. And basically, I'm an artist and I draw stuff. I draw manga, I draw realistic stuff, I do sketching, I do traditional manga type stuff. So definitely click the follow button, come check it out next time. I've been, when I do stream, it's about this time, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon Central Standard Time. And right now I'm working on a set of 4 different elemental dragon princesses. So so at the beginning I will go through my materials, my setup. I'm just getting everything set up right now, so. Hey, Gurr. Okay, so right now I am getting set up. I have a couple of considerations that I deal with. I always forget to close the curtains. And living in an apartment, I often have a lot of extra noise, so I like to start off by showing you what I'm working on, and kind of, especially right now, I seem to have lost the page in the sketchbook. Previous. Okay, so for those of you who are checking out this video as the first video, I'm working on a set of 4 elemental dragon princess sketches that all are going to have this style. The 4 elemental, you get the air, fire, water, and earth. And then this is the air, and due to an update in due to an OS update, the camera control software is not working, so the focus is going in and out a little bit. So please bear with it. And if you are checking in and you like what you see, click the follow button, go to check out my social media and my info down there, and yeah, come back, stay tuned. Here we are getting continued on. Yesterday I was working on the talons here and her hair and just the area surrounding the pearl. For me, I always grew up with watching Japanese live action shows, Space Giants and things like that, and reruns. In America, they used to show them in the afternoons and Saturday mornings and Saturday afternoon. We had Saturday afternoon Kung Fu Theater. They would show Godzilla. They would show the Legend of the Drunken Master, and all those kind of 5 Deadly Venoms. All of those cool Japanese shows. And so I grew up with it, just that familiar in my life growing up. Adjust this a little bit. Adjust the mic a little bit. Make sure it doesn't go on camera, because I wouldn't want anything to obscure my stuff that's currently obscuring my drawing. Yeah, so my dragons that I am drawing are definitely not the Western dragons, although my drawing style is definitely a Western style. But the dragons are definitely influenced by the Chinese and Japanese and Korean and Thai mythology surrounding dragons, but mostly Japanese. They have I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of corrections for this, but I actually enjoy learning, so if anybody has any revisions, anybody has any additions or clarifications for anything that I talk about, my learning is based on, how everything gets filtered to the United States. That being said, my dragons are definitely based on the mythology of koi fish, traveling to the Golden Gate and jumping up and jumping through and being successful at moving on to the next phase of existence. And so, the mythology that I have here, not the lizard-like dragons of Game of Thrones or How to Train Your Dragon or any of those other Western dragon mythologies, Western-based dragons. And when I draw, I try to, kind of do a overview, set up the composition, set up the elements, the different elements, and build layer by layer as best you can over the page, across the page, because of drawing techniques and the fact that I am a right-handed artist. I start with some important things, what I see as important features that, really establish the mood and the tone of the drawing. But then I work primarily upper left to lower right, just to make sure that I don't smear anything or accidentally erase stuff with the side of my hand, smudge it, whatever. That being said, you want to build a painting or a drawing, sketch, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times artists refer to a piece as a painting, even if you don't use actual paint. We want to build a piece little by little, so that way it stays balanced overall, and that's what I'm doing here. The dragon itself, she's going to be a little darker of a dragon, and you can't really tell that from how I'm building out the scales right now, but as I make the picture, I build it up a little bit more and more and more, kind of globally, so that way I have nothing stands out too bad. I can look back, I can see how everything is balanced. Looks like you're getting a little bit of crosstalk there. I was having a problem yesterday trying to track that down, and I determined that what was happening was it was looping in from watching the stream. I monitor the stream live in real time on Twitch so that I can see if it Fs or anything, any problems. And so the sound was up. And it looks like by default it's up on my browser every time I load it, so I need to remember to turn that down every time. So what I have here so far, as you can see, is her mane, which is going to remain really light. But her skin is going to be a bit duskier. The mane would be more of a seafoam green, and her skin would be more of like a maybe like a dark teal. And so her talons here, I'm going to build them up very gradually, because you don't want to go too dark when you're in sketch mode. The sketch paper can very easily get very rough. You can kind of lose the integrity of the grain of the paper. And so you want to build it up very gradually and not have to erase anything. Now I can erase stuff, but it's better for the integrity of the paper for me not to have to. Okay, looking good so far. Now with this, okay, even though it's a mythological creature, I do like to make sure that it looks like something that would exist. Not that it looks like something that would exist in real life, but that if it existed in real life, how would it exist in the physical world? So you can see here with the little rough lines that I have here, and you have the different knuckles there. I do try and build it out using the physiological structures, comparing it to the physiological structures of other creatures that it would have, that it would be incorporating parts of. So when you have a claw, a hand with talons, really every creature that has tarsals and metatarsals and carpals and metacarpals, you want to structure it roughly the same way, and of course the proportions being different, but you want to construct it roughly the same way to behave like the way it's expected in real life. And so with this, if you have really any animal that has any kind of finger-like structure, whether it's primates, whether it's felines or canines, or even you have all kinds of iguanas and Komodo dragons and things like that. If you look at the skeletal structure and the way that it mechanically needs to move, you'll see a lot of commonalities. Even though dogs and cats have paws, if you were to shave off the fur and inspect their actual digits, you would see that they have knuckles and that they have ligaments and tendons and fingernails, which are the claws. And so the way that their paws, their front paws, their rear paws are constructed, the way an iguana's paws, hands are constructed, even though they may be webbed, in order to accomplish gripping onto things and touching things and all that, they all need to conform to generally similar physical construction. So I try and do that with mine instead of just saying, oh, you got a bunch of claws here. I actually do, when I'm setting up the drawing, set it up in such a way that I could defend if it was archaeological dig, that here's the skeletal structure that an archaeologist would find, even though I'm putting on a mythological set of musculature and skin. I guarantee that dragon skin does not appear anywhere on Earth, but if it's based on things that are on Earth, and for me that includes koi, then once you peel the scales back, once you have the musculature and the tendons and ligaments, I can defend this is how the dragon is going to look, the dragon's going to act, how it's going to behave, the things that it's going to be able to accomplish with its talons, and the things that it's not going to be able to accomplish. I mean, even just simple tasks like, dialing a smartphone. There's no way that this dragon would be able to dial a smartphone. So, being able to set up the musculature like this, then it's just a matter of building it in the same way that if I were to draw a picture of a human runner or bodybuilder, or even just somebody sitting at a Starbucks drinking a cup of coffee, drawing it from my mind's eye as though we're existing in the physical world, then I can see it and touch it, then that's pretty much what I'm doing when I'm creating something like these talons, dragon talons. And because I can see it in my mind's eye, I can see how the scales are going to lay across each other and how the light's going to reflect off of them. The light source, where the light source is, keep the light source consistent. And then very gently, very lightly moving the graphite over the paper, I can build it up to give a nice smooth tone. Kind of give a more of a grainy photograph kind of feel, as opposed to just a solid smooth digital gradient or just a solid fill of color. When working with graphite on sketch paper, it is better to build it up rather than just do like a huge black area. If you build it up, you can always go darker. But if you go too heavy and you try and erase it, then yeah, you can definitely mess up the paper. Alright, get my drink. What pencil am I using? Yeah, I'm using a Sanford lead holder. It's a drafting type pencil. It's a 2mm mechanical pencil with standard 2mm leads. This is what graphic designers back in the day would use in lieu of actual wood-cased pencils. So I prefer it just for the fact that wood-cased pencils, you need to chop down trees in order to make them. And this one, once you have the lead holder, you don't need to take down any more trees. And so even though it's plastic and metal, which yes, has its own problems, I definitely prefer it over lead-cased pencils where you sharpen the pencil, the wood is gone, and you have to grow more trees. Whereas I don't know if they're doing it now, but yeah, you definitely can. I presume make them out of recycled plastics. I don't know, but I would presume that. And again, if you're watching this for the first time, if this is your first video, go check out my links and my info. I post the final VODs on YouTube. So if you're more of a YouTube person and you're just having to see this, you can go and check out all my VODs there. My previous sketches and drawings. I've worked on some manga and some chibis, so definitely go to YouTube. For me anyway, I don't know if it's different for, I'm not an affiliate or a partner, so I don't know if it's different for affiliates and partners, but they only keep my VODs for 14 days. So if you want to see all the old ones, go ahead and go to YouTube, check out my YouTube channel, the link is down there. And if you like what you see, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because once I reach a certain number of subscribers, I can make a better URL for my channel, better name for my channel. So if you like what you see and can help me out that way, definitely appreciate it. Yeah, and if you like what you see here, I'm on my road to affiliate. So just go ahead and follow, even if it's for just a couple months. Not asking for a permanent. I'm just trying to build up the channel. So not looking for a ton of money, just looking to build kind of a community of people who like watching what I do, like seeing what I make. So definitely follow, click the follow button, and then go over to YouTube, and if you like what you see there, click the follow button, click the subscribe. And yeah, the more followers I have, the more subscribers I have, the more I can see what's working and what people like. And just kind of build it up. It gives me a bit more of a direction as far as what to do on stream. And what to keep going with. Hey kitty, how you doing? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if my mic is picking this up. I got some very loud people in my apartment building. Right now I'm focusing on how these scales are going to look. It's kind of a little bit of a hold on a second, OBS is acting up. Okay. No problem. Got an error message. Yeah, the so I had an update on my computer, and of course breaks everything important. So I keep getting error messages on OBS. Yes, I'm trying to style the scales a little bit like a Japanese Irizumi tattoo koi. I may come back and rework them a little bit. I used to do tattooing, and doing Japanese and Chinese motifs, aside from kanji, was what I specialized in. So you might see some of the traditional Japanese and Chinese stylings in these drawings, like the swoosh of water here, and the way everything flows. They're just random maple leaves Um, definitely some random cherry blossom petals everywhere. No, just kidding. As far as that, but yeah, I love cherry blossoms. One of the things that I did a lot on women was a lot of the softer stuff like cherry blossoms. So as I work, I like to just kind of lean back a little bit and just check the way overall it looks, and just make adjustments as necessary. I notice that this scale here and the scale here don't look the way I was hoping. So I can take my little kneaded eraser, my kneady eraser, lift up a little bit of it, and go back over it, rework it a little bit better. All right. Whoops. Again, sometimes it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but I'm just building up very, very subtly to make sure that nothing gets too dark. Create a sense of volume, create a sense of three-dimensionality. And again, my intent is always to use these little drawing tricks to make you see what I would like you to see. Instead of just illustrating, oh, here's a thing. I want you to see how I see it. The mood, try and convey a mood, try and convey a sense of place and time. So that way, when you look at it, it's not just a picture of a thing. It makes you feel like you're there, or you understand the concept that I'm trying to put forth. It might be a sense of aggression or sadness or thoughtfulness. But whatever it is, my purpose is to tell a story. And for telling stories, I need to know what the character is doing, how they're feeling. And so if I'm making a drawing and you just see it as just a drawing, then I'm not doing my job very well of making something that actually means something. So that's why sometimes it takes a long time. There are people who can just kind of whip out drawings, and I can do that when I feel like it. As a matter of fact, when I work on my the manga, I work a lot quicker than I do when I'm just doing shading like this. So if you'd like to see what I'm talking about, go ahead and click on the YouTube link in my info, which is down there somewhere, and go to my YouTube and check out the VODs of me making my ghost manga. One of the manga that I'm working on is an interpretation, my adaptation of a series of traditional Japanese ghost stories. So definitely, if you're into watching somebody draw manga, then go check those out, because I have a lot of fun drawing them. And the more I can do streaming, the more I'll get to make cool stuff like that. So if you like it, check out the videos and tell everybody you know about the stream. Okay, so what I see here while I'm working is a little bit of a bare space right here. So I want to create something there, and probably means darkening in a little bit. Making it a little bit more, not just darken, but just something a little bit more solid that feels all uniform and connected, that you can start to see a bit of movement. As it's coming under here, it's going to have a little bit darker there. And so this one here might be a little bit lighter, but I still need that definition. And so this one might be a little bit lighter. I'm going to pull up a little bit of the graphite. I think I overdid a little bit right there. Overdid a little bit right there. And right here to kind of bring it, make it a little bit less dark, less in shadow. Give a little bit more dynamicism to the shading itself. And then I'm going to leave that until I'm done these sections to see if I do need to darken that in. And then once I create the underside there, I'll check and see, here it looks a little bit sketchier, but I want to have it darker under the pearl and under the curve of that finger segment, talon. So I want to make sure that it's okay if I lose a little bit of definition in there, so long as overall it makes everybody see that you have a talon that has a shadow cast on it. And then you're going to have a little bit lighter there, and because this is the underside, you're going to get a little bit more dark here, a little bit more shadow under there, and under that knuckle. And then just go back and forth. This is what I was mentioning before. Just go back and forth to make sure that everything's balanced and that everything conveys the mood and the scene and the impression I want everybody to have. Make you all see what it is that I have in my mind that I want you to see. So, all right. So I think that's going to be about it for today. Thank you to the few people that tuned in and chatted. And I will see everybody tomorrow, hopefully. Same bat time, same bat channel. And hope everybody has a wonderful afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are. And I will talk to you later.